Hello, world. It's good to be with you again. It's always good to be with you. You know I love you. I can't wait. Well, oy vey, what a weekend I had. It wasn't really a weekend. It was Friday and Saturday of last week. This lady that I know, she had a class reunion, Mezzaluna down in Plymouth, which was great. And then the next day, I had my own class reunion at a private home in, that fancy place in Plymouth. What's the name of it? Pine Hills. And it was great. That was my 69th class reunion. How about that? Oh, I was amazed at how old everybody looked except me. I suppose they don't live right. I don't know. It's a possibility. Anyway, remember the last time I was with you, I talked about Mark Twain, my favorite author. Well, I've only got a few minutes, but I got another favorite author. It's not my favorite, but a great guy. He was... Martin Luther King followed him, Mohandas Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma, by the way, means father. I just found that out. Mahatma Gandhi followed him because this guy was a nonviolent guy, but he believed, and I'm going to give you a clue now, he believed in civil disobedience. And by the way, he wrote an essay about that, which was, I read it, it's great, you should read it too. I'll explain it to you in just a minute. But my favorite book that he wrote was a book called Walden, and his name was Henry David Thoreau, or Thoreau, however you want to pronounce it. Walden is a Walden Pond in Concord, Massachusetts, still there. He built a shack, and he lived in it for 2 years because he wanted to find out if he could survive on his own, and he found out that he could. By the way, this guy was a graduate of Harvard. His father owned a pencil factory in Boston. And when he graduated Harvard, he went to work for his dad, increased his bottom line by about 30 or 40%. So he was a businessman. He had a girlfriend who lived in Duxbury, and he was in Concord. And in those days, to go from Concord to Duxbury was one heck of a trip. And he decided it just wasn't worth it. So he said goodbye to her and stayed at home in Concord. Interesting place where he lived. He was a friend of Ralph Waldo Emerson. The girl that wrote Little Women, Louisa May Alcott, also lived in this area. I'm amazed at how these people get together, all composers, authors, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm taking up too much time. If you've never read Walden, pick it up. It's not a big book. It's an easy read. And Walden Pond is still there. They took his shack down and rebuilt it. It's not his shack, but it's a model of what he did. So I recommend it very strongly. I was talking about Mark Twain last week, and I didn't tell you that he was born when Halley's Comet appeared in the sky in 1830, and he died 75 years later when Halley's Comet once again appeared in the sky. Isn't that fascinating? Look, you stick with me and you'll wear diamonds as big as horse turds. I promise you that. I'm full of information as well as full of a lot of other things. I have a guest with me. I'm going to sit down. We're going to talk. And I want you to pay strict attention to this guest because she is very interesting. I'm a little intimidated because I'm not sure the questions I should ask, but I think that she's going to help me out with that. So, don't go away. Take off your shoes, put yourself your favorite beverage, and I'm going to introduce you to my guest. Okay, we're back, everybody, and I've got my guest sitting here next to me. I'm going to introduce her in just a minute, but I have to tell you that she's a sexual therapist, and we're going to talk about things of that nature. When I was a kid, the word sex was banned. It was a no-no. It was, thank God we live in a different era and a different time now because these things need to be talked about. But my message to you is this, because I love you and because we're friends. If there's anybody in the room that can't handle a mature discussion, now's your time to ask them to leave the room or turn off your television set. I hope you do the former rather than the latter. So I'll give you just a few seconds to do that. Okay, that's enough. Everybody should be out of the room. My guest, I have to say it. I know it's sexist to say it, but you are absolutely lovely. You're stunning.
Thank you. You're not so bad yourself.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't get that very often. Her name is Dr. Julie Johnson.
Yep.
And she has a practice in Plymouth.
Yes, I have a mental health clinic, actually. Licensed mental health clinic.
In Plymouth?
Correct. The Plymouth Center for Behavioral Health.
Do you work alone?
No.
Okay.
No, I do not. I have, there's about 15 people that I employ.
All PhDs or MDs?
No,
or?
we have 2 prescribers and therapists, master's level clinicians.
Wow, that's great.
Thank you.
Can we establish your bona fides? You don't mind that, do you?
No, I do not.
School
Sure.
that you went to?
Sure. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology. I have another one in clinical psychology.
2 masters?
2 masters. And I have a doctorate in clinical psychology. And I have a post-grad in sexual medicine and a certified sex therapist.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Thanks.
Wow.
Thank you.
Why did you go into this particular part of psychology?
It's not that exciting. People think it's, ooh, I bet she's got some weirdness about her, but I don't. Actually, I was at Hartford Hospital and I was doing behavioral medicine. And so I was working with cardiac and pulmonary rehab patients, and a lot of them wanted to know when they could have sex again. And after a cardiac event or what have you, you have to wait sometimes to have sex. So that was on a lot of people's minds. And they didn't feel comfortable necessarily having those conversations. So when I was facilitating the group, that came up a lot. So I thought, oh, this is sort of interesting. And I felt like I needed to kind of carve out a niche for myself. And, it's not so, it can be a little depressing studying depression and anxiety, and it's also been, there's a lot of people who specialize in depression and anxiety. So there's not so many people that specialize in sex, the study of sexual behavior and that kind of thing. So I started off like that in cardiac behavioral medicine, basically.
When you say these people had heart problems, they want to know when they can have sex again, or
Right.
if they can have sex again, both male and female?
Yeah, mostly men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume that.
Yeah.
But
But also their wives are very interested in knowing when they can have sex again too, because they don't want to have a husband who has a cardiac arrest while having sex with them. So they're very, they were really anxious about that.
Yeah, I could imagine. I would
Yeah.
imagine. How long have you been doing this?
20 plus years.
Have you really?
I know.
You
Sad.
You look 20 plus years old.
I'll take it. Thank you very much.
Are you? Is there? How do I word this now? Is there a sense of accomplishment? Do you see a finished product? What I'm trying to say is this: if I've got a broken arm and I go to a doctor, he sees it all healed.
Yeah.
Do you heal people? I mean, is there a
I think
result?
people heal themselves. I'm there to facilitate it. I do think that people change in therapy, which is what we want. And I don't take credit for people healing like a physician might. But I do think that I'm part of the process. And I think I make a good team member. I feel like, my clients that come to see me, we're a team. And so, but they deserve the credit. That way, as they go on in their life, they own it. I don't own their success. They own their success.
Yeah, but you have to. It's like a carpenter that builds a house. He steps back at the end of the day and says, "See what I've accomplished." Do you have that feeling?
I think that it's not necessarily the gratification is more of a delayed gratification. But I'm into apparently delayed gratification, as you saw how long I went to school.
Yeah.
So I never was really one for quick results, I guess. And I know that that's not how human beings are. We're not really, it's not a quick result kind of thing. So I would advise people that if they're looking to get into this field, that if they want quick results, then, therapy change isn't, that's not how it works. That's not it. Go become a doctor, a medical doctor.
An MD.
Yeah.
Would I go if I had a sexual problem? Would I go to an MD or would I go to you?
That's a good question. I think that there's a lot of sexual problems that have a physiological component to them. So if you're on a particular medication, if you have diabetes, if you've had different, if you've had like surgeries, like a radical prostatectomy or something like that, you could have problems with erections that I can't help you with, really. I can help you around the emotional components, and I can help you figure out maybe what's going on. But I usually refer people to the Center for Sexual Medicine, that's where I did my postdoc at Boston University, Boston Medical Center, and they're great. They care about sexual functioning. That's what they do. If you go in there and you have problems with erections or any kind of sexual issue, they're going to help you. They're going to check your testosterone, and they're going to really get you back on the road to having better erections and sex, and they're going to follow you. I hate to say it, but I haven't really encountered very successful interactions with physicians around this area who follow people in terms of sexual medicine. So I always refer people to the Center for Sexual Medicine in town.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a good piece of information, too. Where is that? Is that
Boston Medical Center.
Boston Medical Center.
Yeah, the Center for Sexual Medicine.
Oh, you might make a note of that if anybody out there has a.
Dr. Ricardo Menares. He's very good.
You named the doctor.
I did.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Do you have a website?
I do. PlymouthBehavioralHealth.com.
PlymouthBehavioralHealth.com. Very easy to remember. If you have a problem, if you're a lady, if you're a female. They may be a little reluctant or a little embarrassed to go to a sexual therapist. Should they be?
Nobody should be. Nobody should be. I understand that people are, but sex is
normal, natural.
Sex is very normal and natural, and people that have problems with sex, it's very normal to have problems with sex these days. And people think they shouldn't have to work on their sexual relationships, but you do have to work on your sexual relationships. And 43% of all women have some kind of sexual dysfunction.
How many?
At least 43%.
Wow.
So that's almost half of all women who report it have some kind of sexual dysfunction.
Wow.
So we're talking pain, orgasm, arousal, and desire. Desire being the biggest problem. Women don't feel like having sex.
Can I stop you for just a minute?
Sure.
Desire is the biggest problem?
For women.
Really?
Not for men.
No, for women.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it? I don't think women are as interested in
They're
sex.
not.
Oh,
they're not as interested in sex because men's testosterone levels are anywhere, for a normal healthy guy, anywhere from 300 to 1200, and women are functioning around like 30 to 60. So I mean, the disparity from your testosterone levels are huge. The other thing I think is that from a biological perspective, women are very interested in having sex right when they meet a man, dating, having babies, that kind of stuff. And once they successfully do that, they're less interested, whereas men, stay interested their whole entire life. So I do think some of it's biological.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, I was married for 56 years.
Wow.
So dating was out of the question for me, obviously. My wife's been passed away now 10 years.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I've started dating, and I date women around my age. The lady I'm seeing now is 82 years old.
Oh.
And to be very honest with you, and I don't want to embarrass her, but sex is not a thing of the past for this lady.
No. Well, then that means it's not a thing of the past for you either, right?
That's right. But I mean, is it normal for a woman over 80 years old to still have those feelings? Is that
clearly no?
Yeah, really.
Right?
Yeah.
No, of course not. I mean, sex is a normal thing throughout the lifespan.
Really?
And as long as you're healthy, what did you think you were an anomaly? You found the only 80-year-old woman wanting to have sex? They just gravitated toward you?
No, I thought it was the charm I exude.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah. I mean, there's that. But no, I mean, when it's a joke, my father's a physician, and he would say, when he goes into nursing homes, sometimes you find people in other people's rooms in nursing homes and stuff like that, because throughout the lifespan, I think people are looking for connection.
You know, that's a good thing to say, because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
When you get to be my age, you know, I'm going to be 87 next month. I still admire a good-looking female. I still admire. I was a hairdresser.
Really?
all my
Oh,
life.
wow.
A hairstylist.
You know how hard it is to be a blonde then.
But I dealt with thousands of women
Yeah.
all over the world. We used to do shows. I used to do Ava Gabor. You ever heard of her?
Oh, yeah. My grandmother used to love her.
And Shaka Khan,
Oh,
Natalie Cole,
man.
Linda Darnell. So
Really?
I've done a lot of famous women.
Yeah.
But every woman I've done, in my opinion, is famous. I love women. I think they.
So your
God,
testosterone,
now, wait a minute,
I got to be
wait,
honest,
wait,
your
wait, wait.
testosterone's probably pretty good right now.
God made men, and he looked down and said, "Hell, I can do better than that." And he made you guys.
I have to agree. I mean, you're not going to get an argument. You're not going to get an argument out of me.
So, when my wife passed away, I got very, very lonely, and I tried going out with old friends of my guys. That didn't cut it. They're not interesting.
Plus, you
They're
know
not
them in a
stimulating.
different way. You know them in a different way
Well, they're
too.
not stimulating. They want to talk about women.
Oh, okay.
That's what guys do when they get together. They talk about sports, six-pack, trucks, or women.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But it's not my cup of tea.
Right, there's something-
I prefer the company of women.
All right. That's normal.
So I asked women to go out, and 50% of them said yes, and 50% said no. So I work on the 50% basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it works great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't meet her online?
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
Why?
It's not my thing. It's not my thing.
Oh.
I just wouldn't do that.
Really?
I would prefer to go have a cup of coffee with a lady.
But
Get to
don't
know
you
her
think
a bit.
that being online kind of widens your search?
Are you in favor of that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, because I think in today's day and age, I think that it's very hard to meet people, and that when you get online, of course you have to be safe.
I would say, isn't it dangerous?
Well, it's just, I mean, the world we live in can be dangerous, but
Yeah,
you know, you have
yeah.
to, you can meet anybody anywhere, and it could be, you know, people meet people anywhere, and it, you know, they have a bad date or a bad relationship. But yeah, you have to be careful when you meet people online.
You know what I do if I date a lady? I say, let's go to East Bay, have dinner.
Wow.
But you go in your car, and I
Yes.
go in my car. And she says, why is that? I said, because you don't know me.
Exactly.
You don't know me.
Right.
Let's
And what
get
if she
to-
wants to scram?
That's right.
Or what if you want to scram?
Yeah, right.
You don't want to be stuck with driving them home.
Absolutely. The first date. And I don't believe in sex on the first date.
Really.
Yeah. What the? I'm a
You're an
valuable
old-fashioned kind.
commodity. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
old-fashioned for
What
sure.
about practicing? You don't believe in practicing?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Explain that to me.
Well, I'm just kidding with you. That's fine. But what I would like to say is that from a sexual health perspective, anytime a man gets an erection, it's a good thing.
Yes, I would agree with
No,
that.
no, just because, you know,
Forgive me
blood
for
flow.
giggling. I shouldn't be giggling at this.
It's, well, you know, you can. You're entitled. You can laugh. You can,
Okay.
you know, you're entitled. But you know, anytime you get an erection, it's good. It's like physical therapy for the penis, you know, because sometimes you can't get an erection because it's blocked or there's blood flow issues or whatever. So, you know, if you can get an erection every day, go for it. There's your permission.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm talking from a sexual health perspective.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is that a little too much info for you, Ken?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm just not sure how far we can go with this.
Oh. Well, I don't think I've said anything great, too much.
The executive director of Area 58 is giving me the go.
Well, that's
He said,
just
go.
that's just a sexual health fact.
Yeah, it is.
It's nothing, you know, salacious.
No, we're all sexual beings. Male.
Well,
female.
now there's some there's a category of people who say that they're asexual. As an 87-year-old, what do you think about all these different labels that we have going on today?
You know, as an 87-year-old, I come from another era.
Right.
I come from another world. I don't understand this world, and so I don't think I'm going to comment on that on the
Okay.
air.
I see.
I
we can
have
all-
a problem. I have a problem with this, and I don't think it's in your bailiwick, but I'll expose it to you anyway. When I was a hairdresser,
Yeah.
we touched women, we hugged women, we kissed women, because it was doing a lady's hair is kind of an intimate thing.
Right.
And so when I retired from that, I still touch women. You can't do that anymore. You can't touch them. I remember my mother, my Yiddish mama, telling me when I was a young boy, I was about 16 years old, and she said to me, "You never, ever put your hands on a girl or a woman unless she invites you to do so." And I said, how will I know she's inviting me? She said, "You'll know. However, on the other hand, she can touch you, she can hug you, she can kiss you because her motives are different than yours, you pig."
No.
That's my Yiddish mama.
Wow.
Said that. I never forgot that.
Okay. Well,
It's as true today as it was yesterday.
Okay.
But, so, you just don't do that, but you talk to a woman. Now, what is the difference? And this is not in your bailiwick, I don't think, so say you don't know. What's the difference? What is a sexist and what is a feminist? If I say to you, like I did when I introduced you, you're a beautiful girl, is that sexist?
Calling me a girl, I think maybe that might be.
That's bad.
Well, it's not bad. I mean, but I think it depends on who your audience is, right? Who's going to be offended has to do with who you're talking to. So it's not offensive to me that you call me a girl, but I'm not like.
To me you are.
Maybe to you I am, but I'm actually 42 years old.
I've got kids older than you.
Yeah.
I've got kids 62 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just think it's who your audience is that, it could determine who's offended by you or not.
Okay, so what you're saying is that it depends on the audience whether you're a sexist or not.
Yeah, I think different people would say different things.
I think sexism doesn't refer to a guy like me. It refers to the business place. If you work for me in my office and I put my arm around you, or
yeah, but
that's
there's a lot of people in domestic situations that could be with a sexist. Maybe they're maybe the male is very controlling in the home. So I think it goes beyond just a professional environment. I think that there's people that are very patriarchal in domestic situations that could be considered sexist. But those are all things that I think are constantly evolving and changing and need to be talked about. But it's about who's comfortable with what.
Yeah.
And feedback, I think you have to communicate to someone because maybe they don't know that it's offensive. I think a lot of times people don't really know they're offending other people.
That's true.
And they don't do it on purpose necessarily.
No, but still, it's hurtful to the other person.
It could be hurtful,
Yeah.
or they could be just, being a little too sensitive. Sometimes you have to kind of man up, as they say, or woman up. I mean, sometimes I wonder if we live in too much of a sensitive society these days.
Well,
I mean, you would speak better to that because here you are. Like you said, you're not of this generation.
I am not of this generation. When in my generation, when you dated a girl, it was 5 dates at least before you held her hand. Mm-hmm. And God forbid you should kiss her. That was heaven.
Really?
Yeah, that was heaven.
So what was it like when you started dating this new woman? I mean, you guys must be on a fast track.
I saw her down the waterfront. She was sitting on a bench playing with her hair. Being a hairdresser, I said,
that just must have got you.
Allow me.
So you touched her right away?
I touched her right away.
So you broke your rule, your mom's Yiddish rule.
No, I'm a hairdresser. I'm a licensed hairdresser.
No, I know, but...
I have a right to touch your hair.
Okay.
And so that's what I did. And she was startled and stunned, and she had just lost her husband 3 years before. And I said, there, that's better. And I said, are you doing anything tonight? And she said, what?
Wow,
I said,
that was very forward.
How about I meet you at East Bay, which is right over there, and we'll have a nice dinner and get to know one another.
Whoa.
And she said yes.
Wow.
So she was a gambler too.
So it's so interesting. So even people who, think that, are older and you just never know what's going to happen in your life, right?
True.
Isn't that crazy?
True. I'm going to take a break right here, and I'm talking to Dr. Julie Johnson, sexual therapist from Plymouth, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I had to take a break. I'm sorry about that because I just had to cool off a little bit. This is a subject not familiar to me, and I'm enjoying it. I'm getting well informed. I hope you are too. Dr. Johnson, do you have a phone number that you're willing to give out to the people? We gave them your website.
Yes, my business phone number is 508-830-0012. So we're always taking referrals. We have, upwards of 10 other therapists that you can see. That I see people who are depressed with anxiety. I do couples therapy. You don't have to just have a sexual issue to come to the Plymouth Center for Behavioral Health.
I'm glad you said that.
Right. Yeah. So that's just my specialization.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that's all I do.
Right. Okay.
And the other therapists at my office see children, they see adults. We do groups. We have an anger management group right now, a court-mandated anger management
do that
group.
As well?
I personally do not do that,
Right.
but I have a therapist that does do that.
Would I be right in calling you? You could be your group could be a marriage counselor if you had problems with your marriage.
Sure. Yep. You could call if you had problems with your marriage. We have someone that if you call us, you would have to have your insurance card ready. There'd be somebody that would do an intake with you, sort of just get your demographics, find out why you want to come in, your availability, that kind of thing. And we can usually get people in within the week to see a therapist.
Really?
If you want to see a prescriber, that takes about a month.
And
you have to be in therapy in order to see our prescribers.
Let me be a little crass here now. Are you covered Medicare? Do you accept Medicare?
We accept Medicare, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And private insurance as well, of course.
Correct.
And cash.
Cash is king.
Cash is king, right. So if somebody's having a problem in their marriage, non-sexual, they can still go to your group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What if you have a name? What's the name?
The Plymouth Center for Behavioral Health. And we're right in downtown Plymouth, right on Main Street Extension, right across from Dunkin' Donuts, right next to K. Katie's Burgers, in the Landmark building on the first floor. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
My
so
favorite.
508-830-0012.
538.
508.
508.
830.
830.
0012.
508.
830.
830.
0012. Yep.
0012.
Yeah.
And your website one more time?
PlymouthBehavioralHealth.com.
If somebody lost a spouse like
Right.
I did,
Sure.
Could they come to you
Absolutely.
for counseling?
Anyone. We take people with, it explains on the website, but anybody who is going through a transition, anybody who, we take anything. Anybody who's dealing with any kind of emotional issue can come talk to us.
Okay, Monday through Friday.
Yep.
Any nighttime?
Yep.
Okay. All right, you've got the website, you've got the phone number, you met Dr. Julie Johnson. You own it, you run it?
I'm a founder. I founded it. I have a partner.
Okay.
I'm there all the time, though. I'm with the director.
Okay.
So.
It's a very good thing to know because I know 10 years ago when I lost my wife, it was very traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of warning. The doctors told me that she would not survive this, and I won't get any more graphic than that. But you can have all the warning in the world. And when you lose a spouse after 56 years, it's worse than losing your right arm.
People need support in all aspects of their life. And what I say to people is, there's nothing wrong with getting an unbiased person to come talk to you,
Absolutely.
that isn't in your family. And a lot of times it's just a pause in your life, just a minute actually 45 minutes to kind of sit there and talk about what's going on with you. And it's important. And what I say to people who are a little resistant to therapy is that, everybody needs a little support, right? That doesn't sound too threatening, just to get some support with something.
It doesn't sound threatening at all.
Yeah, and so I think most people find therapy a valuable experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I went to the VA.
Yep.
Because I'm a diabetic and they take care of that.
Yep.
And my doctor there said, I understand you just lost your wife. Would you like to talk to somebody?
Sure.
And I said, yeah,
Good.
I would. I
Yeah.
didn't know, I didn't realize, I didn't think about that.
I was a intern at the VA at the Boston Consortium. I did
Oh.
Causeway Street, yeah,
Wow.
and then at the Jamaica Plain VA.
Did you really?
Yeah, so I've worked with some vets.
I go to the Brockton campus, but
Okay.
the lady there who was, I don't know, she was a doctor. She was introduced to me as a doctor. I don't know if she was an MD or not. Didn't
Yeah.
make any difference because she had a good grasp of what I was going through
Good.
and could address it. And it helped like hell.
Absolutely.
It helped like hell.
That's what we're kind of all, I feel like we're all there to kind of help each other,
God,
So.
you know, as you well know, I always give this disclaimer that we never recommend or endorse any product or service. But I'm going to say this to you. If you've got a problem like losing a spouse, that's a major, or any kind of anxiety or depression that you're going through, you don't have to. Because there are people like this
Or
that stand by
substance
to
abuse
help you.
problem.
Yeah.
We have a huge substance abuse problem.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's a good one, too.
yeah, we have a lot of people that can help you with that. We do naltrexone. We do the Vivitrol shot. We definitely are trying to help out with that epidemic. So there's help out there.
This lady sitting beside me, she's very professional. Our interview, she's also very sensitive to a little humor, and she realizes that probably people poke fun at sexual therapy, and that's okay. That's human. That's all right. But it's not all right if you're suffering all alone.
Right.
You don't have to. You've got the website. You've got the phone number. Would you repeat the phone number one more time, slowly?
508-830-0012.
And it's not just sexual therapy. She's a sexual therapist, and that's what we talked about today. I hope that you got something out of it. I certainly did. And she's thinking, do me a favor. She's thinking about doing a TV show right here in Carver. And as you know, we cover Plymouth, Halifax, and Carver, as well as being on YouTube, as well as being on the net. I would love it if you'd call or send a card or a little note to here, 508-866-1019, and let us know if you'd like to have a full-time or a part-time or whatever she decides, sexual therapist on the air for you. I wish this was a call-in show. If we could have a telephone
that would be
here,
fun.
and maybe that'll happen. That may happen, because we're working on that now. I keep pushing for a live spot here, which would be ideal for you.
Oh, yeah.
Would be great. Let us know how you feel about having a doctor, a sexual therapist, a psychologist, a clinical psychologist. You can't do any better than that in community access television, I'll tell you that. You will be very lucky to have this lady broadcasting from this studio on a regular basis. But let us know. Let us know how you feel about it. You're the final judge. And maybe from that she'll make her decision. I hope she makes a decision in the positive. I hope you're here, because you are certainly a pleasure and a
Thank you.
treasure.
Well, thanks for
and
inviting me. This has been
very
good.
informative. And can I have you on again?
Absolutely.
'Cause-
That'd be great.
Yeah, I had no idea that this was such a far-ranging subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could
All
go
right.
a lot of places with this.
And you were so informative. And
Thank
so,
you.
You're so articulate that
Thank you. Well, it's easy to talk to you.
you should have your own show.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people before we part?
No, just thank you for watching.
Oh, that's great. Those are eloquent words. I also thank you for watching. You know I love you. You know I'm going to be back. You know I'm going to have another guest. And one more time, a reminder. I want people with interesting stories. I don't care what the story is, as long as it's okay for, as long as it's of interest to the public. I know that you think it's interesting, but it's got to be interesting to the public, number one. Or number two, this is a family show, so we want something that's not going to offend anybody. And And that's it. Let us know. 508-866-1019. Talk to the people there. They're great people. Tell them what your story is, and let them give you your phone number, and I'll take care of the rest. I'll get in touch with you, and you'll go on TV with me. I'm a pretty easy guy to be with. Wouldn't you agree to that?
I would.
And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Without you, I wouldn't exist. I'm going to say goodbye like Red Skelton used to say. Goodbye, and God bless.
Very nice.